Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jeannie and we are trying something different today. So for the first time ever, I am going to try pre-made press-ons. I've made my own before and worn them, but I don't think I've ever bought press-ons to try. But I've been seeing these Kiara Sky ones and they just really piqued my interest. So we're going to give it a try because I picked these up during, I believe, their Labor Day sale. So I'm really excited to share my experience with you. I'm telling you, I am huge on presentation, and not only are these boxed beautifully, but they've also got the instructions in the back, so I was just giving them a quick look over. So let's get into this box and see what it's all about. I almost don't even want to open this package because it's so pretty, so I'm just carefully peeling back that sticker because I don't want to do damage because I'm just weird like that and I like to keep things intact, and I do keep like my boxes and things like that. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to open it without the tip spilling over. So I just kind of opened it upside down, and then you'll see here it comes with some accessories, which is really nice. So I'm just seeing if I can get it open, which they spilled out. So it does have nail glue, so if I want to apply them with nail glue, which I will be using, it's got that, a little file, and then it looks like it comes with an orange wood stick and then some sticky tabs. So the sticky tabs are for like if you temporarily want to wear your press-ons for like a day, those are really great for those. So that's nice that you have options to include them. And I have seen in a lot of YouTube videos that a lot of the influencers are wearing them or applying them using monomer, but I'm not really big on acrylic, so we're gonna apply them with the nail glue. So I just want to look at the tips. So it looks like this one's the largest one and it's too large. So I'm just going to size out the tips that I need. And I'm actually going to use this palette to put on the tips that I figure out the size, just because I have a habit of sizing tips, putting them down on my table or my mat, and then I can't find them. So I always like to put them on a palette so I know exactly where they are. Whenever you're choosing your tips, whether they're pre-made or not, sizing is very critical. You want to make sure you're getting the right sizing. So you want to make sure your tips are covering your nail from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want any gaps because if they're too small, they could pop off. If you're in between sizes, like one is too large and the other one's too small, I would recommend sizing up, and you can file down a little bit just to make it a little bit smaller, but you definitely want to make sure you're covering those sidewalls, or else if you apply too much pressure because your tip is a little bit too small and you want to mash it down, you could cause those tips to pop off, which you don't want to happen. I have to say, I am really happy with the sizing of these tips. Normally, I have at least one or two tips that are a little too large or too small that I have to file down myself, but these actually fit really nicely, so I didn't have to make any adjustments to any of these tips. On top of that, usually my full coverage tips, the non-pre-made press-ons, the cuticle line is a little too square, so usually I have to round them out, and I didn't have to do any shaping with these. So if it's any indication of their regular full coverage tips, which I did pick up, I think, a box, a small coffin, leave it down below if you want me to try those on in a video. But if that's any indication, I'm excited to try their full coverage tips. I'm just taking a look at the instructions one more time before I apply the tips, because the first time I use a product, I always like to follow the instructions that are given, just so that if something happens, I know that it's user error and it's not something wrong with the product. If I follow instructions to a T and something happens, then I know there may be something wrong with the product. So just going in here with the nail file that came in the kit, I'm just giving my natural nails a very, very light buff. You don't want to be too strong with this. You don't want to damage your natural nails, but you do want to just take off the shine for better adherence of the tips. And then I didn't show this, I don't believe, but it does also come with an alcohol wipe, so I'm just wiping off that dust with the alcohol wipe that came in the kit. I decided I do want to wear these tips for a little while, at least more than one day, so I am actually going to use the nail glue that was provided in the kit. Equally, I could have used Dip Base to glue my tips on, but I wanted to test out this glue, and I will say that at the time of this voiceover, I've been wearing these press-ons for 5 days now, I believe, and they're holding strong. They have not budged, so far, so good. I'll probably remove them soon to do another tip, but I will say they are holding strong. So what I'm doing here is I read in the instructions that you want to apply nail glue to the underside of the tip, and you also want to apply a generous amount to your natural nail. And I'm assuming that's because you want to be able to fill that gap between your natural nail and the apex of the tips. So that's what I'm doing here. I just want to, I'm not really sure, trial and error, right? I'm not really sure the amount that I'm going to need, but I'm just applying a generous amount. And then it says to let it dry down for about 6 seconds before you apply your tip. So you really want your nail glue not to be wet, but just a little bit tacky, and that probably helps with any ooze that may happen. So I just want to touch it, see if it's tacky, and then we're going to go ahead and try to apply the press-on. So I'm going to do it the same way I'll do any full coverage tips, is I'm going to start at my cuticle line and then slowly press down towards my free edge. And I'm going to hold that for a good 30 seconds. That's what the instructions say. Hold it down for 30 seconds and then it should be dry and you should be set to move on to your next nail. And you can see here, I did not do a good job with the first one because I guess I got glue on the underside of my thumb. So I was like, oh my God, I just glued my finger to my thumb. So I'm just kind of moving my fingers around, making sure they're not permanently stuck. I'd rather, you know, make sure and get them detached before the glue is fully dry. So you can see, even with me just doing my thumb, it's actually a really pretty quick process. So I'd say, I think all in all, from thumb to pinky to do all my nails, it took me, I believe it was a little less than 20 minutes. So I wouldn't do press-ons all the time because I really enjoy doing my own nails. Like, it's very relaxing for me. But I would say if you're in a time crunch, these are really great. If you're, going to an event or you have a wedding to go to and you don't have time to do your nails, I think these are a really great option because they are really pretty. I just kind of missed doing my own designs myself. So I'm just going to continue applying these press-ons to the rest of my nails. I did cut out some of the wait time because I don't think you want to sit there and watch me hold down my nail for 30 seconds for each nail, but just kind of reiterate the process that I'm doing. So I did apply some of that nail glue to the underside of the tip. I applied a generous amount to my natural nail, and now I'm just letting it dry down for about 6 seconds to a tacky layer, and then I'll apply my press-on similar to how I would do a full coverage tip. I'll start at the cuticle line and gently press down towards the free edge, and then I'll just hold down that press on for 30 seconds. And then I did find that was sufficient to where the nail was on and the glue was dry. And seriously, it was just that easy. So I'm curious, have you tried press-ons before? Have you made your own? Have you tried like store-bought press-ons? Are there other brands that I should try? Because I'm enjoying them just for times when I'm in a rush. So I'm curious, are there other ones out there that I should be trying? I really love these Kiara Sky ones. The shape is awesome. I love that I didn't have to do any shaping. They're really beautiful. I'd say my only complaint is that these have like the glitter ombre on them and it's actually textured. So I don't know if they didn't top coat them or if the top coat kind of seeped in, but the texture kind of bothered me because you can actually feel the glitters. It's not just smooth. So that would probably be my one complaint on these press-ons. And now I'm going to stop yapping and let you watch me finish off the rest of these nails, and then I'll be back for final thoughts. I did have a little seepage of the nail glue just because I haven't used it before, so I was trying to figure out how much to use. So I'm just taking this thin nail file right here and just cleaning it up a bit. And of course, no mani is complete without rehydrating my cuticles. So I'm using Scales of a Mermaid Cuticle Balm, and this is in the scent Let's Get Baked. It's one of her recent releases. And let me tell you, this smells like fresh baked cookies, and it smells so good. Every time I smell it, it really just makes my mouth water. I don't know how she did it, but it is spot on. And here's our finished look. What do you think? Can you tell that they're pre-made press-ons? And I'm definitely curious, would you wear pre-made press-ons? I have to say, I would wear them again, although I wouldn't wear them for a long time because the texture did bother me. I am really impressed with this Kiara Sky press-ons. They were, I think they cost me about $20 to $25, somewhere around there, but they were on sale, so I did get a discount on top of that. But for me personally, I felt like they were a little too expensive, only because I felt like I could have done the design myself and not had the texture of the glitters. So that's just, you know, my personal preference. I still think they're really great press-ons. They're really beautiful, they've got a really great shape, and they're really easy to apply. So, you know, take that for whatever it's worth. And also let me know down below in the comments if there's any other brands press-ons you want to see me try, because I'm more than willing to give it a shot. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.